Morning, everybody, and I'll open the meeting at 9 o'clock and welcome you all. If I could have someone please confirm the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the 11th of December 2025. Councillor Davis.
I move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 11th of December 2025 be confirmed.
Seconder, Councillor Brumpton. All those in favour? 9-0. Could somebody confirm the minutes of the special meeting held on the 19th of January 2026? Councillor Brumpton.
I move that the minutes of the special meeting held on the 19th of January 2026 be confirmed.
Seconder, Councillor O'Neill. All those in favour? 9-0. 10.1, monthly report, actions from council meetings November and December 2025. Councillor Hancock.
Question?
Yes.
Through you, Madam Mayor, just a question. These are the monthlies from November and December. Is there a reason that we don't have all of our outstanding resolutions being reported in the same report?
So that's through Madam Mayor, we're doing the outstanding monthly ones there. The council brief, we do the full all the outstanding ones with all the background of where they're up to. So it's quite a longer report, but we've only been generating the ones that have actually been from the previous month. So the whole outstanding ones we were doing at the brief.
Is there a reason why we couldn't include them as, like, this is the outstanding ones for the previous month, but then this is all the outstanding ones? Is there a reason?
Yeah, probably do that, councillor.
I'm just sort of suggesting that, like, that's it. We can be open, accountable. We don't lose it off. It's not, we're reporting in our official documents that these are still our outstanding stuff we have to do.
That's a good idea.
I think it's important that we
Yep.
do it,
It's out. It's open.
which
and
is one of the
accountable.
reasons we put them up,
Yeah.
was so that it's always accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so we've been presenting it at the brief. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and we can bring them back, Kel.
So I will move. Can I move?
Just before you do,
Yeah.
I did notice that yesterday we didn't get to that briefing on the whole.
On the other one, not what this one, because we don't brief on this one, but yeah, on the other one.
But all the others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But we can pick up what we were going to put in the other and what was missed. What wasn't missed? We just didn't get round to the one yesterday at the brief.
Yeah.
We can roll that up into council reports.
Yeah. Okay. Do I need to put that in this report, CEO? No. I move that council receive and note the officer's report as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Brumpton. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
No, thank you.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Went and got it.
I'm getting there. I've lost it. Okay. 11.1, 2025-26 Quarter 2 Progress Report, Operational Plan till the 31st of December 2025. Councillor Brumpton.
I move that Council 1 receive and note the 2025-2026 Quarter 2 Operational Plan Report. 2, endorse the Quarter 1 report as presented in accordance with Section 1047 of the Local Government Act 2009.
Seconder.
I'm happy to second.
Councillor Vincent.
Just to the CEO, I just note in the operational plan there are some comments around some actions are waiting for strategy plans to be put into place, but we put some of these strategies into the operational plan because we didn't have a strategy. So for me, it's just that concern around we're waiting for the strategy plans, but we thought we'd do these things in the op plan because we didn't have a strategy. So that was just a statement, I suppose.
I might get those page numbers off you.
Okay.
That's okay.
I might just mention, if we could, there's a slight amendment, it says endorse quarter 1.
Yes, I was wondering, can I change that to Quarter 2? I was thinking I'd missed something when I moved it. And I thought, I must have.
Councillor Hancock.
I just have a question
Yeah.
too. Through you, Madam Mayor, to the CEO. Just with regards to some of our actions that were coming out of our strategy days on the back of our briefing yesterday.
Yep.
One of those actions is about developing a list of priority projects.
Yep.
Should that go into our operational plan? And if not this time, can it go in next time?
We're starting probably our budget process there. We've set the budget ones there. I'll be looking at doing as part of the budget process over the next few weeks as well. We're starting that in February,
So to go into that.
go into that because part of that we present a list of all the projects that have been put up, the ones that missed out last year, as well as the new ones. Through that, we work through the process there, but we want to refine that down to a priority projects as well.
Yeah,
So
happy with
I
that.
think we
Just
still
didn't know
do
if
the
it
budget
had
progress,
to go in
yeah.
the operational plan. Yep.
Would you like to speak, councillor?
Just briefly to say thanks again for all the work that's being done. We are getting there with the commentary in particular. We know that there's limitations on what can be written in there just in number of characters, but at least we have a carry through of where we are with each action, and we seem to be getting the traffic lights sorted as to what we've met and not met. So thanks to all of the officers for all the work they're doing, especially Grace, who's no doubt chasing people to pull this together. And it is becoming much easier to read and much better for council to know where we're at. So I really appreciate the work that's been done. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Anyone else like to speak? No? With that, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Must be still Grace because she's sitting there still. 11.2, statutory policy, entertainment and hospitality. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move the Council 1 repeal the existing entertainment and hospitality policy 2022 P2229 and 2 adopt the updated entertainment and hospitality policy attached to this report.
Have a seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
I'll just change. I don't think we need attached to this report.
Yeah, you don't need to say it.
Yep. So it'll be to adopt the updated entertainment and hospitality policy.
Happy with that, councillor Vincent?
Yes, I am, yes.
Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thanks, Mayor. This hasn't been reviewed since 2022. This is largely the same with a couple of very minor additions, which I think strengthens the policy and makes it clear in terms of council's position when it comes to this particular matter. And I'm happy to move it and urge all councillors to support it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. 11.3, statutory guidelines, acceptable requests for councillors.
Question?
Yes, councillor Hancock.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the CEO, just on page 108, with our administrative guidelines, quick guide for councillors, I'm wondering whether if we could add in there, or if you see any issues with adding in there, CEO, under a community member has requested me to submit a customer request on their behalf. Happy with the first box, second box, but something we've been talking about for a while now is, I think maybe a third box where a councillor has a closed out email with the outcome, just to close that loop. Because we put the CR in on behalf of the customer, we know it's their CR, but we don't get a closed out email
I
with the
have the
outcome.
last couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you, with the outcome?
No,
No,
that's the
just, yeah,
and-
yeah, you're right. It just says it's
And so if you
Closed.
if you put in multiple customer requests, you're not really sure which
yeah,
which
because
one
they
it
only
is.
give you the number,
Number.
and
Yeah.
I don't know who it was anyway. Yeah.
Close though, isn't it? Sorry. The outcome with the customer though, the notification they get, Brad?
Well, they certainly get it, well, they're certainly meant to be getting a notification, absolutely. I guess the system certainly wouldn't be designed to be able to automatically send something to the councillors as it currently stands. It's not to say we can't do something of that nature, but it's not configured that way because it's like a third party that we're sort of nominating. But I get there's an absolute interest in understanding that it's, yes, the thing that I've put forward has been dealt with. That's
Yeah.
So the email that we do get, that it feels like it's an automated email to say it's been closed out. Or is that
I'll have to
manually being done?
No.
There is some that are automatically, but I don't know that all of them.
Have they been logged under your name though?
No.
Yeah, that's the bit I'm questioning.
Customer's name.
Can I have a look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we could just have a look at it.
Hold this over for full now.
Oh yeah, can we? Would that be all right, CEO? I move that we defer or lay it on the
Oh,
table.
no, laid on the
Do you-
table.
Laid
for
on the
it.
table.
Do you think that this will be captured in the CR
Process.
It will.
process
We are,
that
and we're bringing
we've
that
got in
back.
our operational plan, because I thought the same thing. But I think when we have a better look at our CR requests and customer service charter, then that's something that we can get down and sort out then,
But this is,
because we don't have a function to support it at the moment.
And that's
Bit
probably
more
the
in
key,
depth.
council, is that function within the capability of the system there. That's why we'll go and have a look at it there, because at the moment we generate it for the actual customer because it's in their name, even though the council's put it on their behalf. All they're doing is getting the notification it's been closed out, but we can have a look at it.
This could
just
be
get expanded.
updated
And we can look at the
after,
process.
that, again,
well, it would have to,
yeah.
And even in terms of the wording, it's a quick guide for councillors, so really it's the councillors' side of it here.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean to say if we update the policy, it's not, because this bit is really what we do. If you read it, like the heading is a quick guide for councillors,
100%.
so
It
it
is
can
the
still
pro- it's the
happen whether it's in
process-
there or not.
It's
yeah.
the process that we have to do
Yeah,
to be able to get the outcome that we're trying to
yeah,
get.
yeah, that's
And
right.
just that it's been for a while now.
Yeah.
It's been on the. I just wanted to raise it because
I
it's
agree
you know,
that,
if we don't put it in the policy,
Yeah.
it might not need to be done. But if we put it in the policy, then it will
The
need to be
customer
done.
request guidelines there too, I brought in that draft one we had adopted in 2018. The intention is to bring that one back too, and I think that's a big part of that too. We can actually embed it in that policy to say about that. And but look, we can have a look and see about the capability of the system there, and we might have to get Ruben to have a look at.
but
check,
really it
because
would be
my-
in the customer request guideline, not the administrative guideline, so it could be picked up in the customer request guideline,
Yep.
is what I was trying to say. This is really the guideline for councillors.
Yeah, but this is about us. It's not about the customer. The customer request does get their stuff, but this is our guidelines about how do we get the process, how do we achieve the process that we're trying to get.
I think Councillor Hancock is right. Move to add those exact words on the bottom.
And then work towards it. Or if I want to lay it on the table just so you can see whether it's even achievable,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. I just think we've been talking about this now for years actually, and I'd just like to see some sort of an outcome.
Even if the system doesn't allow it, the action can still happen. It'll be done
A
manually.
workaround.
And we can change the system though, councillors. Like if it doesn't allow, we can look at how we can make that happen.
Yeah. I just would like to put it in the policy because then that's the policy and then,
Or guidelines, yeah.
or guidelines, sorry. Accept request guidelines. We'll put it in the guidelines and then if it can't be done, the CEO can bring it back to us and we can achieve it. But I'd like to move,
An amendment, is it?
well, I haven't moved and no one's moved anything. I'd like to move that Council 1 repeal the existing acceptable request for councillors 2022-D20/13628 and 2, adopt the updated acceptable request for councillors guidelines with the addition of,
With addition on page 108.
addition on page 108, attachment A, councillor to receive a closed out email with the outcome,
With details of the action.
with details of the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it?
Yeah.
Good. Seconder? Councillor Brompton, would you like to speak, councillor?
I do, thank you. This is a really important guidelines. It's telling us what we can do, what we can't do, and how we can work within the guidelines. The reason I actually felt it was really important to put that in is because we don't know what's happened, the outcome, but the customer thinks that we do. And so I think it's, to be really good at communication, and communication is one of our biggest strategies. I think that that's why it's important to have it in the guidelines. But I do want to note that this shouldn't be an onerous task on our staff, because there should be minimum amount of customer requests that we put in anyway. Like the right protocol for customers is that they put in their customers' request themselves, and we assist them to do that. But on the few that we put in on their behalf, it would be really good if we know what that outcome was, so that when we see them, they know that we know. So that's why I've added in today.
Anyone like to speak against? Anyone like to speak? Anybody else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. You're still there, Grace.
Last one.
I keep looking to say goodbye and it's still 11.4, annual review of delegation of council powers to the position of Chief Executive Officer. Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 confirm the annual review of the delegations to the Chief Executive Officer pursuant to Section 2575 of the Local Government Act 2009. 2, delegate all powers by and under the provisions of the acts and regulations described in the document titled Register of Delegations, Council to Chief Executive Officer, to the Chief Executive Officer of Council pursuant to Section 257 of the Local Government Act 2009. 3, approve that the register be published on Council's external website.
The seconder. Councillor Hancock. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Just to note that this is part of the required annual review of these, and it's ticking another box in our governance area. Thanks, Grace.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
11.5, nature strip footpath road verge mowing rebate policy. And just to note that this was laid on the table from the previous council, so it has to come back for whatever. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1 endorse Council's nature strip footpath road verge mowing rebate policy as presented. 2, implement the water rebate program for residential properties in Roma, Mitchell, Surat, Wallabilla, Yuba, Jackson and Injude.
May I have a seconder? Can I have a seconder? So that's not moved then?
I've seen lapses.
Lapses. Somebody else have a motion? Councillor Vincent.
I'd like to move that Council 1 receive and note the report. 2, does not adopt the Council's nature strip footpath road verge mowing rebate policy as presented.
Have a seconder. Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I'm happy to support the motion that I put forward this morning. I believe that the community that want to keep their nature strips watered, mowed, do so already. I had a drive around this morning and there is a lot of people in the community that already do that. I think we've got to be fair with our rural residents, that they would be also having to pay for this through the rates, and they also give water to council for our rural road network as well. And not only that, it's the administrative cost and burden that would have put on our staff to ensure that this is done fairly across the whole region. So that's why I've moved a different amendment than what was recommended in the report.
Thank you. Anyone against?
It'll be me.
Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I was a bit excited when I saw this in here because I thought maybe one of the days I missed that you've actually changed your heart. But I know this got a lot of airtime in the election for all the wrong reasons. For some people, we're bringing them up with their one question to the candidates that didn't even live in town. So to me, it's about being a bit consistent. We seem to be promoting greener spaces each year with, Campbell's Park, the pump track, various other parks and gardens, but we're putting more burden on our outside staff to keep these up to scratch. And we want to have pride in our town and make it a beautiful place to drive through or to live. I think if it's done correctly, and I know Councillor O'Neill actually brought this up last time, it's an easy way, whether we put a peg, but photos. If these people want to go that extra mile to get onto this, it's up to them, obviously, and they can present photos 4 times a year if they're willing to sign up for this. And I think if we could encourage a whole neighbourhood to start with to get that on board, it beautifies that area, but also it's a cost saving to council because our staff can get on board and do the jobs that need to be done, and whether like those new green spaces. And I just think, some people through terms that it'll be like a patchwork quilt. Well, it might be to start with, but at the moment it's that now. We've got the people like Councillor Vincent said that do theirs, and then the next people have grass 6 foot high on their footpath. So to me, I'd like even a compromise to get it moving in the right direction. I think the positives, and it stops us from contradicting ourselves about how we have pride in our town and have all these green spaces, but we're not. Other councils don't mow their footpaths, so this is a way that we can slowly navigate towards people doing their own footpaths, like in other centres, and that, like I said, frees up our dwindling numbers on green, on the town gang and mowing and stuff like that. So I won't be supporting this motion as it is.
Thank you. I'll be voting for this motion because I feel that there was no answer onto how this could be done properly, how it could be done efficiently, how it could be done at all. Nobody sold me on the idea of this is how it can be done. This will save time, energy, money. So for me, unless somebody can come up with a better way to do it, I can't support. Well, I do support not doing it. I can't support doing it. So, would anybody else like to speak against? Anyone else like to speak for? Councillor O'Neill?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just to highlight too, I know you referenced it was a matter that was considered in the previous term. It has also been to a council meeting in this term, which we laid on the table for a briefing, just for completeness. Look, I mean, obviously I had previously spoken about how this may work. I mean, I've ended up with the position that I think the complexities of administering it outweigh the positives of doing it. And the subjectiveness that would be applied to who could be considered under this policy is why I'm not supporting it today. Because to the point that Councillor Burkett made, you've got someone that, waters their front verge, mows it themselves, looks after it, and then you've got someone that, the grass is so high. Well, at the moment, we've got no one with grass that high. We've got bare ground. Roma in particular, which would have the biggest uptake in this type of policy just by the sheer population of residential properties across the Maranoa, we've had the least amount of rain since the start of summer. And so it is people that are just watering their verges that would be considered in this, not necessarily other people. So I think the rollout is the thing that has stopped me in supporting this. We need to look at ways to encourage our community to have pride in their own footprint, their own yard, to keep it green. But equally, we need to be doing that as well. We've got a garden out the front of this centre. I know we're looking at. We've got money allocated. We're investing heavily in irrigation and other parks across the region, so we're building these green spaces. That's where our investment right now needs to be going, so that we are leading by example, that we are, ourselves as a council maintaining and look after and beautifying the land in which the community have asked us to control. And so I'm happy to support this today to proceed, because I think it would be an administrative nightmare, and the subjectiveness to applying the policy I think would be awfully difficult for the staff.
Thank you. Councillor Brompton?
Yes, I'm supporting the motion as put by Councillor Vincent. I mean, Parks and Gardens is my area, same reasons as Councillor O'Neill. I can't see a correlation between giving people 10% discount of their water and asking them to mow their footpath, because there's nothing, nowhere in the policy was it said they had to water their footpath to start with. So even if they send 4 photos a year of a mowed footpath, when the council mower's coming along, that footpath mightn't be made, because if it's rained in summer, you've got to mow every week. So we still may be mowing that footpath even if the person has sent 4 photos to say they've mowed it 4 times this year. So it's not actually making any difference to council. I can't see the correlation of how you would enforce that to know. People will have pride or not have pride, I think, and that's like Councillor O'Neill and others have said, if we can encourage more community pride by us leading by example, hopefully that will help. But I can't see any way that we could police this in any sort of effective way. And when the mower's going around for council, if they're going around and that happens to be not mowed, they'll mow it. So it's not really gained anything, I don't believe.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Hancock.
Don't have much more to add, Madam Mayor, but I just want to say that I understand the heart behind the initiative that was put up by Councillor Burkett. I understand that we have been talking about beautifications of our communities, and I've been involved in this conversation right the way through, and I just do want to thank the staff. They did go away and look at it. Like, this process hasn't just been, it's actually been going on for many years, because we have tried to come up with a process that would work, but I can't support it on two reasons. The administration process would be just a nightmare. The inequity for the rural residents as well. And I think that the people now, they do it, and they do it for pride. They don't do it for pay. And I actually don't think that by giving them a 10% reduction on their water, that we would really get too many more people doing it. The people who have pride in their lawns and their gardens, they will do it anyway, and the others won't. So I support the resolution that Councillor Vincent's put up, but I just wanted to say it has been a big process trying to actually get the one that Councillor Burkett put up. But I just couldn't see how it could happen.
Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, Councillor?
No, I think it's all been said. As Councillor Hancock just said, we have looked at different ways that it could be done, but community pride has got to be everybody. We're doing our bit with trying to improve the parks and gardens around, so I'm happy to continue to support this motion. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. With that, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Against? 8-1. Thank you. 11.6, monthly financial report as of the 30th of November 2025. Councillor Brompton.
I move that council note the monthly financial report for the period ended 30th of November 2025.
Seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, Councillor? Sorry.
I have a question.
Yes.
You may, through you, Madam Mayor, Director Brett, you may have told me this, but I need to explain it again, please.
No, it's all right.
Can you please explain how the fees and charges are higher than what we budgeted for? Because we set that. So how can they be?
Are you looking at a particular page, councillor?
Well, it's on 130 and it says notable variances. And so I was just
One of it's waste, I believe. One of it's out
And
an
so-
extra for waste.
refused, but yeah.
Refuse.
But if you could just explain it to me, how we set
Certainly.
our fees and charges knowing, and then, yeah.
So obviously we set our fees and charges through a normal process. In this particular case, most fees and charges are demand driven. So if we have an increase in demand, so for example, there's a lot more waste going to the waste transfer stations than we anticipate, then you'll see fees and charges being higher than we budgeted for. And in this particular case, there is some commentary in there around refuse disposal fees being $211,000 more than we'd expected for the same period in the year. And that's as a result of demand going through particularly the Roma.
So our costs are higher than what we're charging our customers?
No.
This is
no.
extra
This is
revenue
just
we've
extra
got.
revenue.
This is
Additional
extra
revenue.
revenue.
It's just pure revenue. So it's just the fee that we raise. It's not actually the net cost.
Righto. So same with the sale yards, when we've got more input through
exactly.
the cattle, it's
Exactly.
just a higher.
Yeah.
Righto.
And they are another driver of why we've got higher fees.
High
as well.
fees, yeah, sure, thank you. And I've got one more question. Page 167.
167.
If you can just, and I might be reading this wrong again, but special project renewal of the economic development strategy. The annual budget's 25,000. The year-to-date budget's 3,125. Does that mean we've spent 3,125 already? Because
The year-to-date budget's telling you at this particular point in time of year, the project manager has said we expect to have spent only $3,125. We've actually spent, actually it doesn't have the actual in there, it's blank, so that says we've actually spent nothing. So
yeah, that's right. Okay, because that's exactly what I was expecting. Like there
Yeah.
should be no expenditure, but
Yeah.
when you do your forward planning, they break it down obviously into your
That's right, how they
Quarters
expect
and
the project to pay out or
Yeah,
plan
right.
out, sorry.
No, just wanted to clarify
No,
that.
that's okay, that's good. Good
that's
question.
right. Thank you.
Councillor Davis.
Thanks, I also have a question. Page 161, with regards to procurement, local spend. It is really good that these reports are coming back every month and we are trying to actually make it easier to read and follow along month to month. And this is the first time year to date's been included. It has dropped a little considerably in the last 2 months. Is there any reason for that off the top of your head, Director, or is it something that you can take on notice to come back and have a further look at?
Certainly, I'm happy to take it on notice because I don't know the details, but I know that it's very heavily driven, like if we're doing a lot of big contracts and we're using a lot of external providers for a period of time, then it sort of drops away. And I guess as it moves through the course of the year, and it's perhaps, I guess it's probably of value to put the year to date and just what the year in question's doing. As in like the month in question doing, so you can sort of see, okay, this is what this month's done, because you might see this month's, I don't know, 90% and the following month's only 20%, because it moves up and down depending upon what we're buying at the time.
Yeah.
And that's why this month is the first time we'll put the year-to-date one in, as you rightly point out, to try and see, well, what's it doing overall? Great, we've seen these ups and downs, but you don't see what that overall impact is, and that's why we've done this. So in hindsight, there's an improvement to putting that, still keeping a month-to-month
Yeah, and
information as well.
yeah, I guess being 6 months into this financial year, it would be good to have a look further at. So thank you for taking that on board.
It would be interesting because that would include our contracts like the pool,
Exactly,
for example.
yeah.
And when
As
you've
we
got an
speak.
external contractor doing a major,
I understand. I just don't want to get to Q4 and it's sitting below usual, like
Yeah.
way below.
Councillor Vincent.
I've got a question and I'm happy to have it on notice as well because you might be able to. On page 169, in the Parks and Gardens area, it's got regional park repairs, public safety risk hazard for the next 3 years and the project's been completed and funds spent. Is this a plan? And if so, is it coming back to council via a briefing? Just thinking about what high risk areas have been found and how these are going to be implemented.
this may
Having
be
raised
the
a concern with Rob.
Sorry, councillor, which one was it?
So that's about halfway down in
free
Parks
fall,
and
the
Gardens.
full,
The number 3 on Parks and Gardens.
Yeah, so regional parks repairs, public safety, risk
Oh, yeah, got
hazard,
it.
next
I
3
feel
years.
it might be the falls mats, because I've talked about that in my parks, but I can't be sure. You know how they have to update the fall stuff in the soft fall, so they have a program for doing that, but I'm not 100% sure on that,
Can
but I
certainly
think that's
find out
what it
for you,
is,
councillor.
yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
whether it's a plan or whether it's works
Yeah.
that's been
So
completed.
24064 is what it is.
And my only other question, if I may, straight away. It's around the event planning. I'm sorry, I can't find the page now.
Oh, I had that. It was,
It's got that 1/3 of the funds has been spent, but I just haven't heard of any of the workshops that's been held. And
166.
thanks, councillor Hancock.
69.
Second from the bottom. Yeah.
166 from the bottom. So that's the community event planning workshop series up on Park.
Here it is. Yeah, so 1/3 of that's been spent, but I just haven't heard of any of the workshops being completed.
Again, I can have
So
to
I
take
was
that
just
one on
wondering when
notice.
that may occur, because it's on time and well, it is on budget.
I haven't, under my portfolio, I haven't heard either.
Haven't seen anything advertised.
No.
What was the one, Councillor Vincent, on the garden again? You say?
169.
Yeah, I see
Third
that.
one.
So work order
down.
25064.
Oh, the regional
Perhaps.
park repairs.
Yeah,
Oh, well, Seamus may have some information.
I don't know anything about it, but I'll chase it up.
I think it's the soft fall, because we've.
I think Andrew went round. I think he has actually identified the repairs, but I'll just
Yeah.
confirm that that's.
I only ask because I raised with Rob after the Mitchell Christmas party.
Yep.
The table and chairs there are in quite bad condition with the wood.
Okay.
And I just thought, well, if things like that probably should have been removed from service.
Yep.
Should come to us as a briefing or something so we can make sure
Yeah.
there's funds allocated to replace some of that park furniture if required.
Yeah, and if there's $3,000 there, so it hasn't been spent. at
No,
all.
it's all been.
It has been spent.
all been
It's
spent.
fully spent, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it might be a different project
Yeah.
altogether than what I'm
Yeah.
envisioning by reading the words.
Yep.
It was
Right, we'll find out for you.
49,000.
Yeah,
Find out and let you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Seamus. Any others?
Did you get an answer on the other one, councillor, or you're right?
Are we taking
Happy
that?
to take it on
I'll get
notice,
that
yes.
information. Both of them need an answer properly.
Yes,
so.
thanks.
Would you mind emailing all the councillors?
Yeah, absolutely, yes, no problem.
All right, any,
Speak to the.
yeah, go, please do.
Only one more thing, because we're about to go to the December report as well, and I suppose it's not minor, but it's still, we're still seeing these phasing issues. If you look just at the materials and service recoverable works are behind budget by 3.6 million. These are the things that are making us have these big swings and roundabouts, and I'm just hoping we can get better at phasing our budget so we're not having such big swings against, we're showing a surplus of 122k against a forecast deficit of 7.1, noting that we think we're still going to meet budget. So it is a bit frustrating that we have these constant phasing issues, and I suppose some we're not going to change, but as long as we know why it's happening.
And
Sometimes we anticipate it's going to be like this and then it's not, but yeah.
if I may, through the chair, we certainly through our budget workshops, we've talked about that increasing that maturity, and I think this is all part of that, getting the maturity better in the organisation as well, and setting the expectation so you know, this is expected, so we do that.
All right, okay, let's go to the vote on that, is that what we're up to? Yes. All those in favour? Getting confused, 9-0, thank you. 178. 11.7, monthly financial report as of the 31st of December 2025. Councillor Brompton.
I move that council note the monthly financial report for the period ended 31st of December 2025.
Have a seconder, Councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Has anyone got questions?
Got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
Councillor
the mayor, probably to the deputy CEO, just on page 184, note 3 talks about the revenues under budget due to the works for the concrete pathway of the Carnarvon Highway. What's the rephase to align with updated plan? What's the context around that?
Yeah, through the mayor, it's sort of a little bit on from what Brett just mentioned previously. When a project is loaded into the system, it's cash flowed out, and when there's delays, it needs to be regularly updated, which is quite a big task at the moment. We're working through the most efficient way to do that, but that's sort of what that's saying. The revenue, there's no risk in terms of the revenue on that project.
No, I thought that, but it's just budget to be rephased to align with updated plan.
Yeah, so it's just the project obviously was planned to be finished just after Christmas or just before Christmas. We've had some dramas with the head walls on them culverts, so it's realistically going to finish now in February. It's just phasing it.
It's the delivery of the project, not any changes to the
design.
project.
Yeah. When
Okay,
Cam says plan, it means there's the time frame rather than
Project plan.
scope.
And that's the issue with this budget phasing. When it's loaded, it's put in like this, and then if something changes, when we've got to get more sophisticated about changing what budget is loaded, so that because we know the expenditure is going to hit at a different
It's a
time.
time frame
Yeah.
change, not
Rather
a
than scope
not a
and
project
design.
scope.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, Camthorpe's design. So.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
I just have a question for Councillor Brumpton and also another question. Obviously, as part of this job, there's a drainage issue at the Bassett Park end that's been included in the job. How do we know prior to be able to include that in the budget forecast? That's some of the questions you're asking are a bit difficult to get answered.
Through the chair, obviously there is an ongoing issue there with Bassett Park. I wouldn't see main roads probably haven't got that in the scope. We've been trying to manage that to protect the contractor's work the best we can. Otherwise, we'll be up for significant variation and delay for keep saturating their site. But there will be an ongoing issue that we're going to have to deal with there, just with that drainage coming out of that there. Andrew and the team have put in a temporary solution to, as I said, to protect that work. Otherwise, we were going to be up for a fairly decent cost expense for flooding the contractor's work outside of their control. So yeah, it will still need to be dealt with. It's not included in the scope. What the work you're seeing in there at the moment is to protect the contractor's work, and that. So but that has been an issue there for a little while now. So.
I can see we're going to have the same issue at the other end of town in a month or so's time.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what you mean by
You
the
know,
other end of
the
town.
drainage issue is something. How do we actually forecast that until it actually happens? And that's why I'm sort of questioning Councillor Brumpton's questions about getting it more accurate.
It hasn't changed the budget for that project though, because it would be coming from a different source, wouldn't it? The project has a budget that we haven't changed the budget amount, have we?
Just shifting it along the year.
Yes, and I did say earlier, sometimes there are things that you can't acknowledge, but once you know that there's a delay, if you change your budget then, it doesn't affect the budget for the next 3 months because you've actually uploaded the change to the budget phasing because you know there's been a delay. And it's to what extent that you do that in terms of value and value for money. It's a bit like talking about footpaths and spending a lot of administrative time doing stuff. It's how much you do for what size project, for what it affects your budget. But if you know you put it in to finish in December and you know back in August that it looks like it's going to go to March, if you fix your budget projections then, it won't impact on the budget each month if it's been phased correctly.
Yeah, so you're getting more accurate as we go along. Yeah.
Just a further question on note 4. In our grant subsidies revenue, we have an annual budget of 56 million. Currently, we've only receipted 8.4 million. Now, I know we're saying that the budget has not yet been received. The annual budget is expected to be achieved. So I presume there's a fair bit of flood money and things like that coming into capital revenue, but it is a red flag when we're still looking for 48 million at the 6-month mark of our year.
This is page 184. Yeah. So,
the first page.
Yeah. So the year-to-date budget though was only 4,600,000.
Yeah, I understand all that, but I'm saying there's a red flag if we can't. We need to explain the fact that we got to find 48 million in the next 6 months.
And so much of that is driven by the project's progress and progress payments. And so as work's completed, we lodge the acquittal through the various grant funders, and then it comes through. So it's very much dependent on the project's being finished and the progress payments along the way. So I guess I can take your point though, Councillor Flynn. Yes, it is. Looks like a large figure, and I guess as long as that's what we're planning and that's what we're expecting, I'm probably less concerned. But if you're starting to see large variations, you start to worry.
All right, okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Did I have a mover and a seconder? Yes, I did. Did you want to speak? No. Does anyone want to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. $11.8. Soul Dance Studio renewal of user agreement, Hibernian Hall, Roma. Do I have a mover? Councillor O'Neill.
I move that Council 1 approve the request from Soul Dance Studio to enter into a user agreement with council for the use of the Hibernian Hall to conduct dance lessons for a 3-year term. 2, confirm that booking fees will apply in accordance with the Council's annual adopted fees and charges. And 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to execute the user agreement.
Seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, Councillor?
No, thank you.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Thank you, Liam. 11.9, short-term lease of council asset residential property in Surat. Councillor Hancock.
I move that this report be withdrawn from the agenda due to the fact that council's been notified by FGP Morton that they no longer require the accommodation.
Seconded by Councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, Councillor, you right?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you. I normally wouldn't on a withdrawn agenda, but I just want to take the time to thank CEO Rob and Director Brett for all your work and your team that you put into trying to assist with the request of housing when it was critical before Christmas for the Surratt Childcare Centre. They came to us, they were in a critical need, and we stepped in, and I believe that we would have assisted them today if they still had that critical need. But it just goes to show the fluctuation in housing market. A house become available, and so that's why this need is no longer there at the moment. Not saying that it won't rise again, but I just want to put credit to council when there was a critical need and our childcare was going to close because they had no accommodation. Council did the best they could to be able to step up to fill that, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you. She's right. Thank you, both. All right, we'll go to the vote. All those. I have no idea.
O'Neill.
Oh, Councillor O'Neill, yes. Long-term memory there. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, 12.1, Roma Rest Area Project, Shelter and Seating. Do I have a mover? Councillor Davis.
Thank you. I would like to move that council approve the construction and installation of a new shelter and associated seating as additional scope within the Roma Rest Area project, with funding to be sourced from the existing Roma Rest Area upgrade budget, work order 22257.
Seconded by Councillor Vincent.
I ask a question
You
just
can
to
do
see
that
if we
too.
need an amendment, consider an amendment.
Okay.
Would there be scope in the budget for this? No rubbish bins are located out there. Is there any opportunity, or are rubbish bins going back?
I could discuss with the team there. If there's no rubbish bins, they would normally have rubbish bins at public amenities and that. So in the scheme of things, and I've outlined the budget position at the moment, it would comfortably accommodate for rubbish bin or two out there, just so that there isn't rubbish and litter being scattered there. I would probably would have to look at the arrangements, whether it's better suited over near the toilets or just the exact location. I'd hate to commit to probably right now, but
As in my memory, I'm thinking of wheelie bins up against the clubhouse, but I
No,
do
there
know
were
there's
there were two wheelie bins near the toilets.
Correct.
Yes. On the eastern
Permanent
side.
wheelie
Yeah.
bins,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would have thought probably that's probably the better location for them, rather than say right under the shelter where people might eat
Oh,
lunch.
yeah, definitely. I didn't mean right at the shelter, but
Yeah, no,
in
perfect.
that vicinity.
They just haven't gone back.
No, that's fine. Like a double wheelie bin stand, very small, just a galvanised stand with a post on it. It's immaterial in the scheme of things there,
Do we
but
need to include it in this
I'm
at
happy
all, or
to.
you're
Yeah,
happy
that's
to?
construction installation of new shelter. Probably just to help council, if it was where you were heading, was we just dropped the and new shelter, comma, associated seating and rubbish bin as additional rubbish bins as additional scope. But that's for council to be comfortable with. But that,
Comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Are you okay with that? Are you happy to second then, Councillor Vincent?
Yes, I am, yes.
Councillor Burgess?
Just a question while we're on that subject. It's not really to do with that, but is there any protection put around the valve risers and the sprinkler system pipes that are near the toilets? I just noticed, I was a bit worried that they might be open to get bumped into, whether it's by a person or a car. Are they since been done, or?
yeah, through the mayor, I will check. Like it's generally standard practice. Like you see at Campbell's Park pump track, we have a cage that goes around them. I will check that. I would have thought they will put there, whether it's being manufactured and just needed to keep the work going. But I will follow up that. I'll let council know if it's not going in and if there's implication. If it's not going in and there's implications, but it is fairly standard that we require the solenoid valves used to be put in the ground. We obviously get them up out of the ground now, but that requires just the box around them. So, but but based on that question, I'll come back to council if there's no budget and that. But my gut feel is that it would be a standard addition.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken.
Anybody else got any questions?
Oh, I just had one question that I was going to cover off, but it was just the question around wheelchair friendly or disability friendly tables. Has that been considered as part of this project scope?
Yeah, thanks. Generally, our standard park table seating these days. We do, so same with barbecues. You can buy people with disability-friendly barbecues and seating, and that would be the intent here. We've done it at Mitchell Park. They just moved one of the posts in further from the end, so a wheelchair can access the end seat and that sort of stuff. But thanks for the question, and I'll make sure that it's disability-friendly for future there. So.
Thank you.
Would you like to speak on it?
Just briefly, this project has neared completion with local business DMAC covering off on the work, and it looks amazing. This report today is just closing out a previous resolution as well. In July 2024, when council did approve DMAC as the supplier and contractor, that we did want to have a look at the shelter there to really complete the project. So I'd see this as being an amazing addition and upgrade that we probably won't need to look at for another 40 years in maintenance. So happy to move this motion.
It does look amazing, I agree. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to, Councillor O'Neill.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just want to acknowledge that what a change this is making to the entrance into Roma. I can recall in my first term of council, Councillor Reeve Price, former Councillor Reeve Price, championing this investment, that there was a need to look at the beautification of town from a tourism perspective. A lot of caravans were pulling up there and walking across into the big rig. Finally getting it to a point where we can really proud of that precinct, the work that's happening across the road in terms of the sculptures out back, and just improving the amenities for the people that use the sporting fields. I think is a really positive thing, and DMAC's done a wonderful job. The team behind the plantings, it looks amazing, and I've had a number of comments from community members how wonderful it looks, and all credit to everyone that's been involved, and can't wait to see it fully completed with the decision we're making today.
Well, I get the mayor's done a great job on that, so I just take that. Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, I too would like to speak because this project is so great for the entrance of Roma. And for me personally, when I first drove into Roma, when we moved here 25 years ago, Graham and I were in the car and we drove past and we looked at that and we thought, oh, why wouldn't council do something with that? That looks terrible. And so for me, I'm very proud to be on the council who has found the funding and has been able to bring that project to fruition. And congratulations to the team, to Deputy CEOs, project team. Thanks so much for all your hard work. It looks amazing, and I can't wait to see what we do on the other side of the road.
I think I'd like to make a comment there in conjunction with our Deputy CEO that it hasn't all been plain sailing.
No, but we got there.
We've had numerous complaints from the Cricket Association about drainage, and it hasn't all been plain sailing, I can tell you.
I wouldn't think any project has, but we've worked through it, and it looks amazing for the community.
It does. Thank you, Councillor Finn. Would you like to sum up, Councillor
I think
Davis?
it's all been said. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. 13.1. Wall of Fame, future location and presentation. Councillor Flynn?
I'll move that council resolve to retain the Wall of Fame at the PCYC and integrate it into the PCYC facility redesign and digitise the Wall of Fame for display at regional events and council functions.
Have a seconder. Councillor Burkett. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
I'd like to make a comment, and I think it all came to light when we recently made a presentation to Amy Lorenz to go onto the Wall of Fame, and we were finding that there probably wasn't as much community knowledge about the Wall of Fame as there had been. I think the idea to digitise the Wall of Fame and working with the PCYC to integrate the facility will give it certainly the honour that the people on that Wall of Fame deserve, and I believe that as we go around the region with the digitised thing, that we will find more people who should be on that Wall of Fame who haven't been nominated.
Very good. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Thanks, Steve. 13.2, development application, material change of use, healthcare services, 44 Arthur Street, Roma, reference 2025/21589. Does anyone have any questions on this? Morning, ladies. And Jamie. Do I have a councillor Flynn?
I'll move that council recommend the development application or approve the development application for a material change of use healthcare services located at 44 Arthur Street, described as lot 11 on RP 214372, that be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Have a seconder? Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
No, this has come through to our council planning team. It's been application has been reviewed in accordance with the development assessment rules, and happy to support the approval of the development application.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. 13.3, development application, material change of use, multi-dwellings, 3 dwelling units, 20 Wheeler Drive, Roma, reference 2025/21510. Do I have a mover?
So
Councillor
moved
Flynn?
when I find the page.
310.
310.
I just got a question while we're looking for that. Does it come for a material change of use because it's a multi-dwelling on one block? Like if it was a house, it wouldn't come, but because it's a multi-dwelling? Yep, okay, thank you. I thought that, but I was just checking. Councillor Flynn.
I'll move that the development application for a material change of use for multiple dwelling, 3 dwelling units located at 20 Wheeler Drive, Roma, described as Lot 72 SP 257148, be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Seconded, councillor Brompton. Do you want to speak, councillor?
Just to thank the staff, because there are a couple of applications like this, and there's been some details as far as planning goes and getting things right. Just to thank the staff for the way that they've been able to organise that, Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Brompton.
I'd just like to show my excitement that we're getting some more multiple dwelling units in town, given the housing crisis. So anything that will help ameliorate the housing crisis at the moment. So it's great to see a developer developing a multi-unit project.
Mm-hmm. Councillor O'Neill.
Just a question, and I fully support this development. Do we, it's not our remit, I know, but do we provide any advice to the applicant on the nature of their building on that reactive soil? Because this is, if I'm looking at their plan, it's a slab on the ground and the dwellings are sitting on that. And obviously there's been slab on the ground houses in that estate that have not probably been, you know, in layman's terms, built to suit the reactive soil of that particular part of Rome.
Yep. Through you, Mayor. Through the planning approval process, we actually don't go into the details of soil types and that sort of thing. When they come to submit their building application, that's where they'd undertake a soil test and then engineer the footings according to that. If at that time they determine that maybe there's a better construction type to suit the soil, they may need to make a minor change to their planning approval or may not, depending how significant the change is.
You don't think at the DA point where we've got their plans, we should be advising that before they submit a development, a building application?
I think it's a good point to raise, and we'll definitely take note of that, and for any future applications, we can include that in any pre-lodgement advice that we provide.
Just on that though, councillor, if I may, we probably need to just double check around professional indemnity.
Yeah,
issues
I get
with that.
Yeah, but
And of course, just obviously, the building application, as Danielle said there too, you're obviously getting a soil classification coming with the building application too, so they've actually provided, the classification, but as you go around Roma, you go up around Bassett Park, it's a totally different soil classification up there, so our scheme doesn't actually identify zones there, so that's why we do it at the building application stage, because they have to supply the soil test. But as you said, history knows, we know that that's a highly reactive.
that's what I'm getting
a
at.
P site or an ED site, but and that's why you have the building program. But the problem you've identified is that when you get to that, our council has to do all the planning approvals, but we don't always do the actual building approval.
No.
We go through a private certifier who may not be familiar with our region, but they should still be looking at that soil classification. But
And I get what the director's saying about professional indemnity, but we know what we know, and if there is some legal way that we can, we see what we see.
Yep.
We may not know what we know, but there's a huge.
perhaps I think there too, like as you're saying, so rather than in the actual DA conditions, there's nothing we can put in that, but obviously in the discussions, we have multiple meetings with developers there too, as part of that discussion, to say, hey, look, do you realise, history shows that is an ED site or a P site, you might want to look at that in your design, so that should be part of the conversations, because we have multiple meetings with the developer, so we should be having those conversations. I'd be surprised if we don't, but we should be.
Yeah, and if they engage a local builder,
Yeah.
they're going to know. But if it's not a local builder,
They're
they
not
won't,
local
and that's obviously what's happened in the past.
Yep. No, good point.
Yep.
Councillor Flynn, did you want to speak on this one?
No, that's fine, yeah.
Does anyone want to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. 13.4, development application, material change of use, multi-dwelling, 3 dwelling units, 20 Queen Street, Roma, reference 2025/21464. Councillor Flynn?
I'll move that the development application for material change of use for multiple dwelling, 3 dwelling units located at 20 Queen Street, Roma, Queensland 4455, described as Lot 10 on RP 4448, be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Seconded, Councillor Hancock. Anyone got any questions on this one? No? Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Much similar to the last one, so I don't think there's much to comment on there.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill?
I'm going to speak.
Yes.
I'm fully supportive of this, although council is obviously the applicant. This is a major step in the right direction that we've been working on for a long time, to make the decision to invest the most recent Works for Queensland dollars are awarded in this term of council towards housing, shows that council is committed to, where we can, addressing the crisis that our community is facing in terms of the lack of affordable rental accommodation in the market. And I'm so very pleased to see this here today. I can't wait for this to go out, if supported by my colleagues, to go out to tender so that we can see this constructed as quickly as we can to, as I said, do our bit to address one of the biggest issues that is presented to council nearly on a daily basis by our community, whether that's residential, community members or business owners. That the housing and the childcare are the single biggest issues that we're facing as a council, and this will go some way to address it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
I just endorse Councillor O'Neill's remarks there, trying to alleviate the housing crisis here.
Thank you. On that note, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. 13.5, development application, material change of use, multiple dwelling, 3 units, 2 Crawford Street, Roma, reference 2025/21588. Councillor Flynn.
Obviously, our planning team have been very busy in the last couple of months. The development application, recommend the development application for material change of use for multiple dwelling, 3 dwelling units located at 2 Crawford Street, Roma, Queensland, described as Lot 1 on SP 178384, be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Seconder, councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Pretty much similar to the last one, another council project, yes.
Yep. Councillor, anyone like to speak? Councillor O'Neill want to speak?
Said it all just before.
Said all before. It is
Repeat
exciting.
again.
It is exciting. So yeah, let's get on with that job. All right. All those in favour? 9-0. There we go again. 13.6, development application, material change of use, extractive industry up to 50,000 tonnes per annum. 3563 Dunkeld Road, Tingar, reference 2025/21463. Do I have a mover? Councillor Flynn.
I'll move that the development application for material change of use, extractive industry up to 50,000 tonnes per annum, located at Dongara, 3563 Dunkeld Road, Tingan, described as Lot 1 on RP 208342, be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Seconder, Councillor Seawright. Would you like to speak, councillor?
This application is in line with a similar business in the area, and certainly I believe will help as far as our roadworks programs go, and a number of roadworks programs in the area to provide material for the jobs at hand.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Got a late open.
I do have a late open. L1, upcoming deputation and briefing topics, councillors briefing February 2026. Councillor Davis.
I move that council receive and note the officers' report as presented.
I have a seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
Just this is administrative for us to have a look at what is upcoming in our briefing days, and the option for any councillor to put any conflicts of interest if they wish to remain in discussions in those briefings.
Yeah, so sorry, Mayor. I see one. I've got to declare an interest on, please.
You would like to,
Yes, please.
when you're ready?
I'd like to move a declarable conflict of interest on item L1, referencing upcoming agenda item Roma Commerce and Tourism Electronic Signage Board, overview of proposal.
Oh, yeah.
Nature of the interest, Kel, is that the General Manager of Roma Commerce and Tourism is a friend and neighbour. Deb Jopic. It's a declarable conflict of interest, and without the words in front of me, although I have a declarable conflict of interest, I would like to put it to the room.
A reasonable person.
Sorry?
I'm putting it to the room.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm comfortable with the decision that the council will make on this matter.
Okay. Oh, sorry, councillor Davis.
I move that it is in the public interest that Councillor O'Neill remains for this agenda item, as it is in the public interest.
Remains and votes on agenda item.
Remains and votes on agenda item as it is in the public interest.
Seconder.
Because a reasonable person would trust a decision is
Thanks.
made.
All those words.
You better just, Councillor Davis, you better read that.
Here you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Pete.
I was going to read
If anyone has
It's
a
on the
conflict, they
screen.
can't
It's
vote.
on the screen.
Oh, it's on the screen there.
Oh, thanks. I move that it is in the public interest that Councillor O'Neill participates and votes on agenda item L1 Because a reasonable person would trust that the decision is made in the public interest.
Seconder. Councillor Seawright, all those in favour?
Pete,
If you've got a conflict, you can't
we,
vote.
we've got a conflict in this.
Yeah, no, I suppose I didn't
Yeah,
even look at it until,
So we just can't vote.
We can't
Yeah.
vote on this.
Are you're both going to do something
we're
as
going to
well?
have to
Yeah.
declare a
Okay.
conflict then.
So that gives me 6-0, is that right?
Now
Councillor
through Mayor,
Burke?
I'm not preempting what Councillor Flynn's going to do, but we both have declared this in the past. But the matter in hand is just to help me out here, fellow colleagues. It's we don't have a conflict on this because we still got to declare a conflict.
Is the matter exactly the same?
Which
The
is which
you
one is
Which
it?
one is
The
it?
Bungle Street over,
Bungle
it's the
Street
same.
Waddles
It's just a follow
over
up.
lease arrangements.
I don't think it's changed.
so
It's been
it's-
deferred.
So it's the matter is exactly the same if we've already.
You've
dealt
already
with
No,
done
but
it.
what I mean is this is about upcoming briefings, not wholly and solely the Waddles segment. Is that
But
so?
this-
The matter in hand is this. You
Yeah,
know, understand what I'm
provides
saying?
you Opportunity to
But
be
it
able to put
provides
your
you an
conflicts.
opportunity to put your conflict
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
the
So that you
room.
can be
But
in the
sorry.
briefing.
You can be in the room for the
I
Waddles
think it's
discussion.
exactly
Yeah,
the same.
no, that's right. No, we
What did you do previously?
got out, both of us
Get
got
out of the room when the discussion,
It's
when,
exactly the same one.
when the soccer club guys came and things like that, or when Red Bulls
Yeah, I haven't been involved.
brought their proposals.
So are you wanting to declare?
No,
an interest
sorry,
and
I
be
was just,
involved?
no, I was just,
So you'll be going out of the room again?
yeah. No, but when I was saying the matter in hand, it's the whole,
We got, we're just still waiting on, this is the exact same example as we had previously, and we got advice from the department, but we were getting,
Advice from the department.
and we were seeking legal advice from King and Co.
Yeah, no, the advice at hand was, it's a matter at hand for the actual voting on the resolution, if you've got a potential conflict of interest. Declarable conflict of interest, you declare it up front here, other councils can vote on it, so when we actually have the briefing, you've already declared it.
So if you guys are getting out,
You don't need to.
do anything. It's only if you want to put it to the room to stay in.
because we've already declared.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's not that you've already
Declared.
declared, it's that your decision is that you will not participate in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that one item.
On
that
that
one,
one
on
item.
the rest of
It's
it's
only
fine,
if you
yeah.
want us to
Yeah.
consider
Yeah.
you staying in the room that it needs to come
For
up
that-
now, for that
that-
item,
Okay,
when it
righto,
comes.
that's fine, yeah.
And that's
Yes.
Well,
currently,
no, I'll be getting out when it comes
Yeah,
up.
so you don't need to
but that's
declare.
currently department advice, but we are seeking independent legal advice.
I've asked them, but I can get it in writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
That's
department
all.
were clear, they said that in terms of the actual agenda item, that's the matter at hand.
So do we need to retake the vote?
So in essence, the,
No, we still can't vote on it.
didn't have a conflict on it then?
No, you didn't have.
Yeah, you didn't have a conflict on that.
You don't have a conflict on anything in the report.
Because you haven't asked us to.
Because you haven't asked to stay in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the vote
No,
again?
I have a question.
Oh, sorry, yep.
Sorry. Just this is a question on no conflicts, it's actually on what was moved. In the list, I just noticed that service standards dash packs session 1 is actually twice. It's third from the top and it's third from the bottom. Should they be different or are they the same? They're the same, so it's just, they've just been put in twice.
It's just really
Okay.
important.
Really important,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We're getting there.
But to Councillor Davis's point, if the Councillor Flynn and Councillor Burkett don't have a conflict on the matter, which is to receive and know the officer's report, then
We would
they
take a-
didn't have a conflict on
On you.
on voting on that procedural motion about.
Yeah, that's what I was, the matter at hand.
Only if they had a similar conflict on
I
the
probably didn't
same
portray what I was trying to say.
We'll vote again on
Head's in a bit of
Councillor O'Neill staying in the room. All right, so all those in favour? So we've got 8-0 on that one.
Yeah, I didn't get my merds out properly before, that's what I was trying to.
And have we done a vote on L1 yet or not?
No,
Okay, all those
had a
in,
mover.
we had a mover?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I'll
me.
second.
Yeah, and it is a seconder. Yeah.
Got a seconder? I'll second if, oh no, Brendan.
Councillor Seawright.
Councillor Seawright, sorry.
Oh no, did we? No, that's not right. What's up further?
Yeah, Davis and Seagull. Yep.
Was that on?
No, that was on the
No, that's on the
conflict of interest.
We haven't got a mover and a second on the
All right,
report.
can I have a
It
mover?
was Vincent, was it? No?
Yes.
Yes. We've
We'll
got a
get there.
mover and a seconder. All those in favour? 9-0. Thank you very much. All right.
Still haven't got that process down pat. We'll get there. We need a briefing on it. We'll have to do practice.
Bit better than the
Lot
first
quicker than
couple of
last
meetings
time,
back in 2020.
Getting better, so.
So we're going to move into closed. Do we need to go into closed? Does anybody need to go into closed?
Do we need to declare a conflict of interest before?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, we could do
Depends if
that.
we need to go into close.
We don't need.
Anybody have
I
any
don't need to go
questions
into
on
close.
the email in regards to the
Okay,
Arcadia Valley one?
Can we just, probably take a couple minutes to look at that email?
Councillor O'Neill, you have a conflict?
Yes, I do. But I'll do that if we're going, are we
Yeah.
going into
what
close,
we-
then I'll do it now. If we're not going
We
into
just
close,
got
I'll
some
do it
more
at the item.
information from,
Well, on that basis, Mayor, I'll declare so we can go into close so
Yeah.
we can read that information.
Yeah.
I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on C2, description lot 91 on M5356 trustee lease. The declaring councillor is myself, Councillor Cameron O'Neill. The person with the interest is Tim McClymont. Particulars of the interest, Tim McClymont of Greybeard Family Investments, who is named in the report as a personal friend. It's a declarable conflict of interest, and although I have a declarable conflict of interest, I do not believe a reasonable person could have a perception of bias. Therefore, I will choose to remain in the meeting. However, I will respect the decision of the meeting, whether I can remain and participate in the decision.
Anybody? Councillor Davis.
I move that it is in the public interest that Councillor O'Neill participates and votes on agenda item C2 because a reasonable person would trust that the decision is made in the public interest.
Seconder, Councillor Brompton. All those in favour? 7-0. Councillor Flynn, why didn't you vote?
Was it, oh, did you call against? Is it?
No?
No,
You
he's
didn't
got
wanna
another
vote?
conflict.
Well, I've got a conflict on an item in there, so I
But not
wasn't
on
sure
that
whether I
one.
should vote or not.
But not on that one.
Okay.
All those in favour? 8-0. Councillor Flynn.
Declaring conflict of interest on item C5, Capital Works Budget Amended, Bassett Park, Roma, Jockey Room Stage 2. The councillor name is myself, as Peter Flynn, person with interest in self. Particulars, I'm an executive member of Roma Turf Club, a tenant of the building in question. The type of conflict is prescribed, and I will leave the room while the matter is being discussed.
Thank you. All right, somebody move us into closed. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move that in accordance with the provisions of section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the council resolved to close the meeting to the public to discuss confidential items that its councillors consider is necessary to close the meeting. In accordance with section 254J5 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following table provides the matters to be discussed, an overview of what is to be discussed while the meeting is closed. C1, 2025-26 Capital Works Budget Amendment, Lions Park Irrigation and Grounds Upgrades. C2, Lot 91 on M5356 Trustee Lease. C3, Tender Award 26011 DRFA Program Flood Restoration Works Pavement Restoration and Reseal Package. C4, Tender Award 26010 DRFA Program Flood Restoration Works Road Furniture and Drainage Package. C5, 2025-26 Capital Works Budget Amendment, Bassett Park, Roma, Jockey Room Stage 2 Safe Movement and Access. C6, Tender Award 25041 Arcadia Valley Road Upgrade.
Have a seconder? Councillor Brompton.
sorry.
All right. All those in favour? 9-0. We're in closed. Someone move us out of close, please. Councillor O'Neill, seconder. Councillor Hancock, all those in favour? 9-0. C1, 2025. 2025-26 Capital Works Budget Amendment,
CEO?
Lions Park Irrigation and Grounds Upgrade. Do I have a mover? Oh, sorry, councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 approve an amendment to the 2025-26 Capital Works budget to increase the allocation for work order 25620, Lions Park irrigation and grounds upgrades, to a total budget of $330,000 excluding GST, to include the following scope items: increased topsoil depth to 100 millimetres, supporting improved turf establishment and long-term performance; gypsum treatments to address existing heavy clay soil conditions; drainage improvements and slope treatment, including works in the vicinity of shelter and cricket pitch; upgrade to the irrigation system, including improved pump selection to enhance reliability and efficiency; and turfing works rather than seeding to reduce park downtime and improve the overall upgrade works. 2, approve the reallocation of $93,177 in savings from the Jackson Street Roma Curb and Channel project within the 25-26 Capital Works program to fund the additional scope outlined above. 3, continue to work with the Lions Club and look at options to help mitigate park closure impacts due to the upgrade works.
Seconder. Councillor Seawright, would you like to speak, councillor?
Just briefly, Council approved this work in the 25-26 budget. There has been lessons learnt by the staff and contractors, I think, since the original scope for this project around some of the other park upgrades, and I think it's worthy that we take that into account so that we do this job once and do it right. And this ensures that we have longevity of the turfing and we have the drainage right and the right pump for the condition. So I'm really happy to see this improvement and I request, that councillors support that so that we have a lovely project in a park that's used a lot by the locals.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill?
Thanks, Mayor. I echo and concur with a lot of the comments that Councillor Brumpton has raised. I think it's important to highlight, whilst we are increasing it to 330, there was an original budget of 236,000 round figures, making up that extra 93 is what we're looking for today. I think the bit we really need to stress is the bulk of that cost is coming from removing an additional 50 millimetres of soil. And I know the community will understand why we're doing it right the first time, so we're not having to go back in the years ahead to address what can be really challenging in our region with the assegrass that comes through and the seed bed that can last from assegrass for a long time. Taking that out means that we will get this right and done right the first time, and it'll only be very minor mop-ups if we need to do that thereafter, rather than whole-scale changes to this park. The approach that we've taken in this term of council is that we get in, we do it right, then we move on to the next project or initiative, and I think what we have before us today will achieve that goal, and it's something we should be applying with all of our projects that we are doing right across the region. So I fully support this. As Councillor Brumpton said, it is a community asset and facility that is getting increased use all the time, and I know the families of Roma in particular, but the outlying communities that come into town as well will appreciate a nice green space that's now fully fenced. And I think it will show our commitment to beautifying our town and having those green spaces where people can go and congregate together. So I welcome the report today, and I think it's the right decision of council to support it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, I'm going to support this project today, and I don't have much more to add about the value of the project to the community than Councillor O'Neill and Councillor Brumpton have. It is a wonderful project, and doing it once and doing it right the first time is smart business. I just want to acknowledge and congratulate through the CEO to the Deputy CEO and his project team the fact that they have been able to use savings from another project that happened in Roma and then use those savings to put it towards a project to enhance another project. That's smart, and that's using our council's money wisely. And I'd just like to acknowledge that that I think that that's a great initiative, and we see it quite often come through council now where we're making savings from one project that we then be able to use to enhance another project in the region. So congratulations to the team for that, and I really look forward to seeing the end project of this park in Roma.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to? I don't think so. Okay, let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C2, lot 91 on M5356, trustee lease. Do I have a mover? Councillor Searock.
I move that council enter into a 5-year trustee lease with Greybeard Family Investments Proprietary Limited over lot 91 on M5356 for the purpose of grazing. 2, permit the installation of a fence along the eastern boundary, ensuring access is maintained for any travelling stock and continued access to the formed road is preserved. 3, advise that the road type parcel is still required for its intended purpose. 4, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to sign documentation in relation to this decision.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Just briefly, thanks, Mayor. Just this reserve is actually not on the primary stock route that has had any travelling permits on it for quite some time, so it has been identified as not required, although it is stipulated that there is, to ensure there's a body of grass allowable there if that is required for travelling stock at any purpose in the future.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C3, tender award 26011, DRFA program, flood restoration works, pavement restoration and reseal package. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 select Cooper McCulloch Group Proprietary Limited as the preferred tenderer for tender 26011 DRFA program flood restoration works pavement restoration and reseal package for a contract sum of $1,499,029.82 exclusive of GST. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to enter final negotiations with Cooper McCulloch Group Proprietary Limited and form a contract to carry out the works if final terms are acceptable.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, Councillor? Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C4, tender award 26010 DRFA program, flood restoration works, road furniture and drainage package. Councillor Vincent.
I'd like to move that Council 1 select HBS Earth Moving Proprietary Limited as the preferred tenderer for tender 26010 DRFA program, flood restoration works, road furniture and drainage package for a contract sum of $891,347.29 exclusive of GST. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to enter final negotiations with HBS Earth Moving Proprietary Limited and form a contract to carry out the works if final terms are acceptable.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Yes, first I'd probably like to congratulate HBS Earth Moving Proprietary Limited, a local company, for putting in for this tender along with other companies as well. It's great to see that a local business has been able to get themselves into a position to take on works of this magnitude. So.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C5, 2025-26 Capital Works Budget Amendment, Bassett Park, Roma, Jockey Room Stage 2, Safe Movement and Access. Councillor Flynn has a conflict and will leave the room. Thank you. Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. I'll move the Council 1 amend the 2025-26 Capital Works budget for Bassett Park, Roma, Jockey Room Stage 2, Safe Movement and Access to increase the total project to $307,000 excluding GST, and to source the additional funding of $134,770 excluding GST from within the existing 2025-26 Capital Works program allocation for Bassett Park from projects with full project expenditure is not currently forecast to be incurred by the 30th of June 2026. 3, receive a briefing outlining the proposed imagery or silhouette elements to be incorporated into the new balustrading prior to finalising detailed design and fabrication.
Seconded by councillor Burkett. Would you like to speak, councillor? Oh, do you have a question?
Just have a question.
Yep.
Just with that last point, receive a briefing outlining the proposed imagery implements to be incorporated into the new balustrading.
Elements to be incorporated in the new
Are we actually, we're saying we're going to incorporate them, or are we going to have a briefing to decide whether we are going to incorporate them?
Well, let's receive a briefing outlining the proposed imagery or elements to be incorporated in the new balustrading. So we'll receive a briefing on doing it.
On just the proposal of doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, proposed.
Yep, all right.
Through the mayor, if it helps the councillor, that's my understanding as well, that we would do a briefing, proposed incorporation, but the incorporation would still need to be considered by council.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, proposed.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thanks, Mayor. Very briefly, this rounds out a project that and works that have been undertaken in the last few years on the facility. It's a needed investment to ensure that we are providing a safe facility and welcome council support for it.
Anybody else like to speak? Councillor?
Yeah, also, we started the first stage last term, and I think this ties it off. And I think the adding of the silhouettes will be a bonus. I think that'll really set the whole place off, and whether it's whatever sport's held at that venue, but I think this is just another step forward to getting Bassett Park to where, as a feature venue, so where it should be. Thanks to staff.
Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up? All those in favour? 8-0. Councillor Flynn is back in the room. C6, tender award 25041 Arcadia Valley Road Upgrade. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1 select Cooper McCulloch Group Proprietary Limited as a preferred tenderer for tender 25041 Arcadia Valley Road Upgrade Project for a contract sum of $4,770,746.20, excluding GST. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to enter into final negotiations with the tenderer and execute the contract if final terms are acceptable.
It's
Keep
3
going.
and 4.
3 and 4.
What have I done here? Sneaky. 3, authorise the nominated superintendent for council, the delegation to order variations up to the value of the approved project budget, including but not limited to shoulder gravel resheeting and shoulder grading works. 4, notes the design for the road widening in the steep range section of Arcadia Valley Road is ongoing, and the remaining project budget will permit some upgrade to occur.
Seconder, councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, councillor?
No, thanks.
Would anyone?
Yeah,
Councillor O'Neill?
thanks, Mayor. I'm not surprised there were a lot of hands that went up then to move this. This is a really a great project for the region, and one that council has used as a precursor to a broader policy where we're engaging with our locals and users of our roads to understand where investment should be occurring and the issues that they see as regular users of our roads and where money should be pointed to address those issues. Councillor Vincent and I and the Deputy CEO and Manager Jarvis, we attended a on-site community consultation with a number of concerned residents in relation to aspects of this particular road and works that had initially been proposed, and it just goes to show how important it is to sit down with the locals to understand their needs and wants and hear their issues, and for us to pivot where we can to address them, and awarding this tender today and the scope of the works goes to do that. And so I want to thank the team behind it for coming up with an appropriate course to not only address our issues as a council, but the locals as well. And as I said, that engagement is the precursor to a much broader policy, which we're trialling in the first few months of this year, where that direct engagement will start to really focus council on how we work with our community and ultimately invest ratepayers' money, taxpayers of Queensland and Australia as well into key road projects in our region. So I'm really excited to be able to second this and speak to it today, and I know that we're going to have some really happy residents when they see that we are working towards fixing elements of this road. I recognise there is still more work to be done, and we will, where we can, continue to focus our energy on that into the future.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent.
Just quickly to follow up on Councillor O'Neill, just to thank the residents for coming to us with concerns with the first proposal of repair work up there. I think we've got to a stage where they'll be extremely happy to see the works go ahead. They've already been extremely happy with what we've already achieved up there with the team. Thanks to Deputy CEO and the manager for coming along and talking to the residents and working with them as we go forward, and that we do have continuing work up there, that this is not the final budget project for the Arcadia Valley Road.
All right. Anybody else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Does anybody else have any business? On that note, I'll close the meeting at 11:22, and I'll thank you for your service, maybe.